We're here to chat a little bit about the upcoming CARW Wisconsin retail event. And we're really excited to have Garrick Brown back. For those listening, the event April 30th at the Hyatt in downtown Milwaukee. It's going to be a full day, including keynote, panel, and of course, everyone's favorite, the roundtables and a municipal showcase. So hand it over to Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for including me, Tracy. I wanted to kind of just have this call, record it for some of our CARW members to better describe what Garrick's prepared to talk about. I think we've gotten great feedback from presenters or from our attendees in the past about Garrick's presentation. Probably no better time than the year 2025 for Garrick to share some of his perspectives for what's happening for real estate and what's happening in retail. And as one commercial real estate nerd to another, I've admired Garrick's work for many years. And I wanted him to have an opportunity to better showcase the Brown Book and what his latest research has been focusing on. So Garrick, super excited to welcome you back to Milwaukee on April 30th. And I hope you'll have all of the answers that our anxious audience is looking for in this world that we live in.
Well, Kevin and Tracy, thanks so much. Look, hey, there's probably no time that research matters more than when there's uncertainty. And, let's face it, we just uncertainty went from about a level 2 to about 11 in a matter of a couple of weeks with the whole tariff situation. I will have a whole bunch of economic takes on that. But, part of what I do, the last couple of years, I've been editing a thing called the Brown Book, where I track who's doing what in the retail space. And, also, who the decision makers are. But a big part of that is trying to be accurate as far as who's opening stores, who's closing stores, where, and then, of course, what categories. And the interesting thing, last year we had retail bankruptcies hit the highest level since 2020 when, we're in the midst of the pandemic. Yet vacancy really didn't move very much. And there's a reason for that. Because there are so many categories that are active that you wouldn't consider retail. At least we wouldn't have in the old days. So the irony is the future of retail real estate isn't all about retail. How that plays out in the after effects of the tariffs or the will we or won't we? Well, hopefully there'll be a little bit more clarity by the time I get to Milwaukee. Either way, I think I'll have some interesting insights as to who's growing, who's likely to grow in a high tariff environment, who's not. And probably most importantly for brokers and landlords and developers is how do you pivot? How do you navigate? Because we are, we're going into uncharted waters. That's for sure. And, so the more knowledge you have, the better place you're going to be. And of course, I love Milwaukee. I think for those of you who saw me last time, I'm a cheesehead by birth. So I was indoctrinated in the cradle. So I'm looking forward to getting back. And, I've got all my old jerseys. I need to get a Jordan Love jersey. So that's my goal.
Well, let me kind of leave you with this. And, this is a selfish request, but I think the audience would resonate. One thing I've been hearing from some of my peers, some of my investors, my clients, we all sort of get a little bit numb to our own market, both its virtues and its challenges. I think it'd be super helpful for our audience on April 30th to hear from you, who obviously understands Milwaukee but doesn't live here, helping to provide some perspective on how the rest of the world views Milwaukee in the Midwest. So if you could deliver on that on the 30th as well, I know the audience would really find value in admiring our own market.
You got it. Well, actually, one of the things I'm excited about, too, is that one of our panelist members, Adam Ifshin, who's with DLC, major landlord, investor nationally, but not currently in Wisconsin. I think he's going to have some insights as well. But I think there's definitely, I see it. It's very easy to get tunnel vision, working in the same market, dealing with the same challenges. and to start assuming that everyone else is going to see things the way we're seeing it here, or whether or not there's a misperception or not going on. And I think it can often blind you to potentials that you could market outside of your base. And so I've been planning on touching on a few things that I look at from the investment point of view that hopefully will resonate. And I can't wait to hear Adam's takes as well.
No, that's great. We appreciate you being a resource and a friend to CARW and being a part of the history of this event. Tracy, thanks to you and your team for putting it together, and I'm super excited for the event.
Well, one thing I'm excited about too is you guys have set it up so that attendees are going to get a free 6-month subscription to the Brown Book. So I'm excited to boost my my subscription base and to get a whole bunch of new followers, because that's also how I gather information. I want to make sure that all those tenant rep folks up in your neck of the woods, that I'm representing what the concepts they're working with, and getting access to what are their plans as well, because at the end of the day, it's all about information.
Absolutely.
National perspective, local insights, and a great takeaway so you can continue the learning. That's all on April 30th at the Hyatt in downtown Milwaukee.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing you both there.